Hey everybody, Nabil here, and let's be honest, who here loves a good roller coaster? The ups, the downs, the feeling in your stomach like you left your lunch 2 loops back? Okay, maybe not everyone, but what if I told you millions of people experience that feeling every day? At 35,000 feet in the air? That's right, folks. We're talking turbulence. That invisible monster in the sky that can turn a calm flight into a scene straight out of Final Destination. And you know me, I love a good viral video, especially when it involves something both terrifying and totally relatable. So today, we're strapping in for a wild ride through the most insane turbulence incidents ever caught on camera. We're talking drinks flying, people screaming, and flight attendants doing some serious parkour in the aisles. If you're scared of flying, this might not be for you. But hey, maybe watch it anyway, for science. Now hit that subscribe button and let's get this show on the runway. Picture this. You're cruising over the Pacific, on your way to Tokyo for some delicious ramen. You've got your noise-canceling headphones on, maybe watching Lost for the 10th time. Come on, we've all been there. When suddenly, BAM! The plane feels like it just hit a speed bump the size of Mount Fuji. This was the reality for passengers on a Boeing 777 back in 2017. Luckily, someone had their phone recording because what happened next was pure chaos. Drinks turned into projectiles, luggage went flying like a game of airborne Tetris, and passengers were literally hanging from the ceiling. Okay, maybe not literally, but it definitely felt like it. The footage went crazy viral, and trust me, after watching it, you'll understand why. Alright folks, buckle up for this one because we're heading to South America where an Aerolíneas Argentinas flight turned into a real-life roller coaster over the Andes Mountains. Now, I'm talking about those majestic, snow-capped peaks that look absolutely breathtaking from the ground. But let me tell you, up in the air, they can turn into Turbulence Central. This flight was cruising along, passengers were enjoying their in-flight meals, when out of nowhere, BAM! The plane starts shaking like a maraca at a Shakira concert. And guess what? One of the passengers had a GoPro strapped to their head, capturing the whole terrifying experience in first person. We're talking trays flying, people screaming in Spanish, and a whole lot of prayers going up to the heavens. This footage is not for the faint of heart, folks, but it's a stark reminder that Mother Nature always has the last laugh. Hold on to your 10-gallon hats, folks, because this next turbulence terror takes us straight to the heart of the US of A. We're talking about the Rocky Mountains, those majestic peaks that look like they were ripped straight out of a John Wayne movie. But just like those old westerns, things can get a little wild in these parts, especially when it comes to clear air turbulence. Picture this. United Airlines Flight 826 cruising along, minding its own business, when suddenly, wham! It's like the plane hit an invisible wall. And wouldn't you know it, a teenager on board just happened to be filming a TikTok? Yeah, talk about being in the right place at the right time, or maybe the wrong place depending on how you look at it. The video shows passengers getting thrown around like rag dolls, a flight attendant taking a tumble that would make Simone Biles jealous, and a whole lot of people questioning their life choices. Hold on to your samosas, folks, because we're about to dive headfirst into a turbulence tale from the skies of India. This ain't your Bollywood-style choreographed chaos. This is the real deal. Imagine this. You're on a domestic flight, maybe catching up on some sleep, when suddenly, boom! It's like the plane turned into a giant popcorn machine, with passengers getting tossed around like kernels. This chaotic scene went down on a flight from Mumbai to New Delhi, and thankfully, a quick-thinking passenger whipped out their phone to capture the mayhem. We're talking water bottles turned into water cannons, laptops playing a high-stakes game of catch, and even a rogue suitcase taking a victory lap down the aisle. The footage was like something out of a disaster movie, except, funnier. Get ready to say Achtung, baby, because this next turbulence tale takes us to the skies over Europe, where a Lufthansa flight from Frankfurt to Bangkok encountered a storm so intense it felt like a dance-off with Thor himself. Now I'm talking about the kind of storm that makes you want to curl up in a ball and sing "Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head." But one brave soul decided to live stream the whole ordeal on Instagram. Yeah, you heard that right, folks. This passenger probably thinking, well, this might be my last post. Might as well make it a good one, documented the plane getting tossed around like a toy boat in a bathtub. The footage went viral because of course it did, and it just goes to show that even in the age of social media, Mother Nature can still steal the show. G'day mates, let's hop over to the land down under for a turbulence tale that'll make you say crikey. Picture this. You're on a Qantas flight, maybe enjoying a cuppa and some Tim Tams when, BAM! The plane gets hit by what can only be described as a skyquake. Now I'm not talking about some cheesy disaster movie here. This is a real phenomenon where the air suddenly drops out from under the plane, like stepping in a pothole the size of Tasmania. And wouldn't you know it, some passengers managed to catch the whole thing on camera? We're talking coffee exploding in midair like a scene from The Matrix, a baby stroller performing a gravity-defying stunt, and a whole lot of Aussies holding on for dear life. The footage went viral faster than a kangaroo on roller skates, and it's a stark reminder that even the friendliest skies can turn wild in an instant. Mabuhay everyone, we're jetting off to the Philippines for this next turbulence terror, and let me tell you, this one's a doozy. Imagine this, you're on a flight to Manila, maybe dreaming about those beautiful beaches and delicious adobo when suddenly, whoosh! The plane decides to do a little dance move, a little something I like to call the sideways salsa. Now I'm not talking about a gentle sway here. This plane tilted so far sideways it felt like it was about to do the Macarena in the sky. And as you can imagine, the passengers were freaking out. A passenger, bless their heart, managed to capture the chaos on camera, and it's a wild ride from start to finish. We're talking flickering lights, screaming kids, a flight attendant who deserves a raise and a hug, and a whole lot of people questioning their travel insurance. Hold on to your vuvuzelas, folks, because we're about to take a nosedive into a turbulence tale from the skies over South Africa that's sure to make you say, eesh. Imagine this. You're on a British Airways flight, minding your own business, maybe enjoying a nice cup of rooibos tea, when suddenly, whoop! It feels like the plane just fell off the edge of the world. Now, I'm not talking about your average bump here. This was an air pocket collapse, which sounds like something out of a science fiction novel, but trust me, it's very real. And wouldn't you know it, multiple passengers had their phones out, ready to capture the moment for posterity. The footage is wild, folks. We're talking drinks defying gravity, passengers gasping for air like they just surfaced from a deep-sea dive, and a whole lot of people wishing they'd worn their brown pants that day. Hola, amigos. Get ready to samba your way into this next turbulence tale because we're heading to Brazil, where a LATAM Airlines flight turned into a carnival ride from hell. Picture this, you're cruising over the Amazon rainforest, sipping on some guarana, when suddenly, bam! It's like the plane got caught in a samba circle of angry clouds. And who better to capture this aerial fiesta than a Brazilian influencer with a camera glued to their tray table? This brave soul documented the whole thing for their followers, and let me tell you, it was a wild ride. We're talking passengers bouncing off the ceiling like popcorn kernels, breakfast turning into an impromptu food fight, and a whole lot of people wishing they'd gone for that second cup of coffee. The footage went viral faster than you can say, "Ay, moi Deus." And it's a reminder that even in the land of Carnival, Mother Nature likes to throw her own kind of party. Privet, comrades. Buckle up for this next turbulence tale because we're heading to Russia, where a routine flight turned into a scene straight out of a Tolstoy novel. You know, the really dramatic ones. Picture this. You're on a budget airline, probably dreaming of caviar and vodka shots, when suddenly, wham! The plane starts shaking like a babushka trying to parallel park. Now, the turbulence itself was bad enough, but what happened after the plane landed was even crazier. Turns out the pilots forgot to give the passengers a heads up about the bumpy ride. Big mistake, my friends. The footage shows people screaming at the flight attendants, demanding answers, and generally causing a ruckus that would make Rasputin blush. It just goes to show, folks, that even in the land of borscht and bears, nothing brings out the drama like a little unexpected turbulence. Hey everyone, get ready to chill out with this next turbulence tale because we're heading to Iceland, where a routine flight turned into a real-life ice-capade. Imagine this, you're on your way to Reykjavik, maybe dreaming of geysers and Björk concerts when suddenly, brrrr, the plane enters a polar vortex that's colder than a polar bear's. Well, you get the idea. Now I'm not talking about your average turbulence here. This was the kind that makes your teeth chatter and your bones rattle. Luckily, a travel vlogger on board decided to document the experience for their followers, and the footage is both beautiful and terrifying. We're talking frost forming on the windows, the plane shaking like a snow globe, and flight attendants crawling on the floor like they're playing a game of human shuffleboard. It's a reminder that even in the land of fire and ice, Mother Nature always has the upper hand. Welcome to Egypt, my friends, land of pyramids, pharaohs, and turbulence so intense it comes with its own lightning show. This ain't your average bumpy ride, folks. We're talking about a flight from Cairo to Lagos that decided to spice things up with a side of electric shock therapy. Now I'm all for adding a little excitement to a flight, but this might be pushing it. A passenger who clearly had the best seat in the house, or should I say, plane, managed to capture the moment lightning struck the wing, not once, but twice. And as if that wasn't enough, the plane was also getting tossed around like a scarab beetle in a sandstorm. The footage is insane, folks, with sparks flying, people screaming in Arabic, and a whole lot of prayers going up to whatever deity was in charge of air traffic control that day. Woo! After all that I need a drink, and maybe a hug, and a therapist who specializes in aviophobia. But hey, at least we're all still on the ground, right? Now before you swear off flying forever and invest in a good pair of hiking boots, here are 5 things pilots want you to know about turbulence. First off, it's uncomfortable, sure, but it's rarely dangerous. Second, the most dangerous part is actually unbuckled passengers flying around during sudden drops. So buckle up, buttercups. Third, clear air turbulence is the worst because it's basically invisible to radar. It's like trying to dodge a ninja in a phone booth. Fourth, mountains, jet streams, and storms are the usual suspects when it comes to turbulence, so maybe avoid those if you can. And finally, pilots train for this stuff. They're basically the Chuck Norris of the skies. So the next time you're feeling a little anxious about flying, just remember those 5 things. And hey, maybe watch this video again. It's like a virtual roller coaster without the long lines and overpriced snacks. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends. Until next time, stay grounded.